So in the last video, we derived the formula for the secant method to find the root of an equation. So in this video, we are going to look at the problem where we have an equation and we have to find its root. So what exactly is the question? That find the root of an equation x cube minus 3x squared plus 7x minus 8 equal to 0 correct to 3 decimal places by secant method. So basically we are looking for some number, let's say b, such that when we plug it in the function, we have 0 point. Since we have to find the root correct to 3 decimal places, so 3 zeros and fourth could be some digit. So it means that you are going to fix your calculator up to 4 decimal places. So if you find a number b such that by plugging b in the function, if you have 0 point on the right of decimal 3 zeros and a fourth digit, you will say that b is the root correct to 3 decimal places. So fix your calculator up to one higher decimal, which is 4 decimal places. Now let's solve this question. The first step, like bisection method, false position method, Newton-Raphson method that we have seen so far, we always find the interval. But before we find the interval, we have to write f of x. What is f of x here? So look at this equation. Whatever is on another side of 0, that is your f of x. X cube minus 3x squared plus 7x minus 8. Now for step 1, where we have to find the interval where the root lies. So f of 0 is minus 8, which is less than 0. We try f at 1, which is minus 3, which is less than 0, and f of 2, which is 2. When we have two opposite signs, that's when we have the interval. An interval is composed of the x values, not the answers. The interval here is 1, 2, in which the root lies. We are going to call 1 as x0 and 2 as x1. And when we will be using the secant formula, we are going to need f of x0, f of x1. You will see in a moment. So if we are calling x0 as 1 and x1 as 2, then f of x0 will be f of 1, and we have the value of f of 1 here, which is minus 3, and we have f of x1, which is f of 2, and here we have the value of f of 2, which is 2. After finding the interval, the next step, step 2, is to write the formula for secant method. And the formula for secant method is xn plus 1 is equal to xn minus 1 minus f of xn minus 1 into xn minus 1 divided by f of xn minus f of xn minus 1. And in this formula, n is running from 1 to 3. Let's call this formula 1. Now, we have the point x0, which is 1. We have the point x1, which is 2, and now we have to find the next x, and the next x could be a root or it could not be a root. We will have to check that. How do we find the next x? After x1, what we do is we put n equal to 1 in the formula 1. look at this. When you put n equal to 1, so you have x 1 plus 1 x2 x, because n is 1, so x n minus 1 becomes x 1 minus 1 0. This is x0 minus f of x0 x1 minus x0 divided by f of x1 minus f of x0. This is how we will find x2. Let's plug in the values. x0 is 1, f of 1, x1 is 2 minus 1 whole divided by f of 2 minus f of 1. We have the value of f of 2 and f of 1 here, so we will plug these values here. We have x2 1 minus f of 1 is minus 3, 2 minus 1 is 1 whole divided by f of 2 is 2 minus f of 1 is minus 3. So we solve this. One plus 3 by 5. Use your calculator. Remember that your calculator is fixed to 4 places, so you get 1.6. We started with x0, x1, which were 1 and 2, and now we found the next x, which is x2, and the value of x2 is 1.6. Every time you find a new x, you have to plug it in the function. Let's say by plugging x2, which is 1.6, suppose you have, let's say this situation, means 0.3 zeros on the decimal, so this is where we will stop because we got the root, and we will say 1.6 is the root. But let's plug 1.6 in the function. So we have the function x cube minus 3x square plus 7x minus 8. Here in the places of x, we will put 1.6. When we find the value of the function at 1.6, you will see that it is minus 0.3840. How did we get this? So we plugged 1.6 in the function. 1.6 cube minus 3, 1.6 square plus 7, 1.6 minus 8. It gave us minus 0.3840. Since we did not get the 3 zeros on the right of the decimal, so we will continue to find the next x. The next x is x3, and the formula for x3, how shall you get x3? So here the formula 1. To find x2, in this formula we had put n equal to 1. Now to be able to find x3, in this formula 1 we will put n equal to 2. So when we put n equal to 2 in the formula 1, we get x3, and the formula for x3 is x1 minus f of x1 x2 minus x1 whole divided by f of x2 minus f of x1. And let's plug in the values for x3. x1, we had the value of x1 in the beginning, it is 2. So x1 is 2 minus f of 2. We have x2 right here, 1.6 minus x1 is 2 divided by f of x2. F of x2 is here, which is f of 1.6, which is minus 0.3840 minus f of x1. x1 is 2, so f of 2, which is 2. x3, 2 minus f of 2 is 2. 1.6 minus 2 whole divided by minus 0.3840 minus 2. We use calculator to solve this, and we will have x3 as 1.6644. Every time you find a new x, you plug it in the function f of x. So we find f of x3, which is f of 1.6644. When we plug it in the function we have is x cube minus 3x squared plus 7x minus 8. When we plug in the places of x 1.6644, we get minus 0.0491. We did not exactly get 3 zeros on the right of the decimal, but at least we got 1 0. So we are hopeful that we will soon approach towards the root. So we will find x4 by putting n equal to 3 in this formula. Because look at the left hand side, when we put n equal to 3, it gives us x4. So the formula for x4 is x4 equal to x2 minus f of x2, x3 minus x2 whole divided by f of x3 minus f of x2. Let's plug in the values. x2 is 1.6, f of 1.6, x3 is, we have just found it, 1.6644, x2 is 1.6 divided by f of 1.6644 minus f of 1.6. We have to plug these values here. For x4, it is 1.6. f of 1.6, we have calculated it. It is minus 0.3840. The difference between 1.6644 and 1.6 divided by f of 1.6644 is minus 0.0491, which is this, minus f of 1.6, and we have this value minus 0.3840. We use the calculator to find this number, and x4 is 1.6738. Every time we find new x, which is x4 here, so we have to plug it in the function to see that if this is where we have to stop. So we find f of x4, f of 1.6738. We plug 1.6738 in the function and we get 0.0011. We are closer to the root because on the right of the decimal we have 2 zeros, but remember we have to find the root correct to 3 decimal places. So we have to find nx, which when we plug in the function we have 3 zeros on the right of the decimal. So it means we will have to continue. So we will now find x5. How shall we find x5? In the formula 1, we put n equal to, on the left hand side we put n equal to 4, because when we put n equal to 4 here we get x5. So put n equal to 4 in the formula 1 and you get x5. x3 minus f of x3, x4 minus x3 divided by f of x4 minus f of x3. Let's plug in the values. x5 is, x3 is 1.6644, f of 1.6644, x4 is 1.6738, which we found in the previous step. x3 is 1.6644 whole divided by f of 1.6738 minus f of 1.6644. So for x5 we have 1.6644 minus f of 1.6644, which is minus 0.0491. The difference between 1.6738 and 1.6644. You will find this in calculator. Divided by the value of function at 1.6738, which is 0.0011, minus the value of the function at 1.6644, which is minus 0.491. We use calculator to find x5 and you will see that we get 1.6736. You find a new x, you plug it in the function to see that if this new x is the root or not. 1.6736, when we plug this value in the function, we get 0.0000. We needed to have 3 zeros and fourth could be any digit, but this is even better. We found the 4 zeros. So this is where we will stop and say that x5, which is 1.6736, is the root of the equation, which is x cube minus 3x cube plus 7x minus 8 equal to 0, correct to 3 decimal places. Or we can round this up, correct to 3 decimal places. 1.674 is the root of the equation f of x equal to 0. So this is how we find the root of an equation by using the secant method.